The power in the story, like whenever I get the chills, like my skin on my arms stand up, I think of that as like this, like we're all energy, but it's when my energy, my thoughts, my heart, like what you're saying, everything's in alignment. If we're in a simulation in a game, it's like you get the coins. It's like that moment was like ding, 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 ding. Like I just feel like I'm experiencing God in this moment. There's something that's happening inside of me that there's no words. Yay! Okay, welcome everyone. This is a celebration. This is the relaunch of the Superbloom podcast. It initially came to birth November 2021, but the idea came to me maybe like the summer of 2021. It was just after my daughter, who's almost 5, was born. And so to have, a couple years of it going and then now to come back with video and with guests. I have people here that are my guests that I was able, had the honor to interview and just connect with to share the light, the beauty, and the creativity that I see in each of you, with the world. And so this time, this relaunch is with video, and we were just talking about the fun of video. And so for me, it's this whole other layer and this whole other level now where it's not a script that I'm reading while my daughter's nursing on my chest, that I'm writing while I'm running on the boulevard like I used to. It's getting these impulses, these instincts to ask someone to be a guest and then seeing what comes through when we actually hit record on our Zoom sessions. And it's just been this beautiful, like looking back at what we recorded is just, there's so much in it that I couldn't be present for in the moment because there's so much going on in your brain when you're on. But looking back, I'm like, this is like, it's feeding my soul. So I'm so excited to be able to share what we all exchanged and put out there for the collective in our interviews. So today's the official launch of this little trailer I put together. And then I share a story about what happened in that gap in those 2 years between the last episode and when I started interviewing with each of you. And then Raquel's episode is going to come out next week, the day after our birthday on March 25th. And this is this beautiful episode on, I would say it's like the death of the ego. Like we have a choice, the mind, the heart, the body, and how they connect is the heart of all the episodes. But when I listened to it and watched it again, that was kind of what came through for me. And then Mare and Sam, you're coming in. It's going to be amazing. And then I'm weaving in episodes of my own reflections of how our experiences together are shaping me and just where we are in our super bloom is my intention for each episode. And then adding in little ones with just there's things to experience. So on that note, before we get in and we start chatting with each of you about your experience on the podcast, I just want to give us all a moment to, including myself, to just drop in, come out of the head, down into the heart. And so we're just going to take a moment, get comfortable wherever you are. See if you can get in a seat, or even if you're standing, just bring your gaze towards the floor or let your eyes just shut and tune into your breathing. Just noticing the breath moving in and out of your body. Noticing the way your body receives each inhale, expanding naturally, and how it feels as each breath exits the body and it contracts on its own. And letting the breath begin to come in through the nose and out through the mouth, pausing for a moment as you inhale, filling up, slowly releasing through the mouth as you exhale, releasing the breath, the neck, the shoulders, and with each breath, energetically seeing yourself moving from the head, the thinking, the doing, the making, down into the heart, the feeling, the knowing, the trusting. Letting your breath come back to its natural inhale and exhale. Perhaps it was through the nose. Just take a moment, maybe bringing the hands to the heart to connect in with your beating of your heart, this vital part of your being, this rhythm that as a mother we know and have come to understand is our life, our life force. And just take a moment to ask your heart what you need to know today. My intention with this gathering today is for us to share from our heart space whatever is meant to come through for the audience, for ourselves here. And so I'm so grateful to have you all here to share this. And I'd love to just go around the room. We'll start with Raquel, and then we'll go to whoever's ready next, just to share what it was like being invited here to the Superbloom podcast to be a guest, and also anything about being asked once you were here on the call, and then anything that you want to share about afterwards and where you are today. So excited. Thanks for being my first guest, Raquel. It was a little rocky, but we figured it out. I still have some audio stuff I'm working through, but I was so grateful. It was so beautiful.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Yay.
Excited because it feels like a blur to me, but I can absolutely share. There absolutely was excitement to just actually create space for us to have some time to drop in and chat and dedicate it to just this connection. And just, knowing each other just on a deeper level and layer. I always welcome that. And it was just beautiful to receive that invitation and to make it happen. So thank you for facilitating that and coordinating it and the editing and all the time and, the love that you put into that. I'm really excited to see it.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was, even though I don't remember details, I just remember just feeling so, held and listened to. And it was just, I remember how I felt. And it was just a joy also to have my daughter there too, because typically I don't invite her in when I work very intimately with people and I don't let her into the conversations that I typically have. And so it was just nice to just have her like playing in the background and kind of just exploring my office and witnessing that, because usually she'll do that. It's not something that was captured. So I feel like it would be fun to witness that from a different perspective and point. Just you are just very grounding and warming and welcoming. And so it's always just a pleasure to have a conversation with you.
Thank you.
And then for me, I'll sort of speak through the lens of how I support, because for me, I've always resonated with what we came here to learn as sort of our offering. And that just really holds true in my life. Just this sort of the massive turning point in my life was actually realizing that I was like living life, checking boxes of what I thought I should do, needed to do, had to do, and realizing I wasn't living life for myself. I was living life for who I thought others wanted me to be. And I had this massive aha moment around 29, 30, where I realized like I have a choice. Like I was in a job that, just was not fulfilling. I was in corporate advertising. I was engaged to be married to someone I didn't want to be married to. So just all of these, just recognizing where my life was not in alignment. And it was just such a major aha moment that I had been making choices for, not for me, but for who knows, like who I thought my parents wanted me to be. Right. And so since then, 15 years ago, it really has been a journey of orienting to my internal landscape and really aligning my life and my choices and decisions around my own internal values and exploring what that was. I didn't really even know what that even meant or what that was. And this is sort of in retrospect, hindsight, being able to like connect the dots. And for me, the most foundational piece is just this inner security, safety, stability within myself that I would say that actually came like much later, of just recognizing what was like, as like peeling away the onion, right? Like continuing to get to the root. No, deeper than that. Nope, it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. And this is actually something that came through. And I always knew it had to do with like safety, stability, but there was just this extra piece of like no, it's not safe to be you, and just recognizing how that lens was actually completely running my life. And once
Mm,
that awareness came up, it's just this constant deeper and deepening into grounding, rooting into myself and working on safety, stability, security. And really, it just that spiral, and it came back, I would say, this last year, just like so intensely and deeply, like, how can I look at this on a deeper level and layer? And so this sort of brings me to just today and just in this season, where I've been really exploring and really spending time. It's more of in like the physical realm, my physical vessel, and exercises and stretches and different embodiment practices that really help to connect me so deeply to my physical vessel.
mm,
And so that has been really potent and alive for me.
beautiful.
So that's
This is the year of the one, like in numerology, which is the body. It's
and I
beautiful.
didn't even know that.
I
I yeah, just when I sort of share, what my winter solstice intention was, and what
know.
I'm focusing on, that was a lot of feedback that I got of just like reality, and it just very much fits in alignment with what was calling to me. So there was that, and then also the safety security with finances. Like, it
Mm,
was something that I always outsourced. I felt very overwhelmed to educate myself around financial IQ. And so it feels so good to be able to actually have, uh, let's say, mentors and people in my life that, are managing and, have a relationship with money that is more aligned, not the traditional, like what I was taught in corporate of put money in 401k, and like just very traditional ways of how to look at money, how to build a relationship with money. And so I've been working on like the emotional mental piece. And now this is like just another level and layer around like the actual more like masculine, like actionable pieces, and feeling really confident and educating myself on
I was gonna say, yeah, confidence. I can feel that from you. And
like
yeah,
how to
just
figure out how to be your own bank, and how to figure out how to
mm,
resource these like large projects. Um, those I would say are two sort of major themes that feel very alive, just again, around like, how can I create this deeper sense of safety, security, stability, and help me root into, my inner authority, my inner governance, my inner power to be able to create that life. Even though I love my life right now, it's like, and there's also, just so much that I want to create.
oh, this is so awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much, Raquel. And again, I'm so grateful for you. And this past year, it's our next season, so I'm excited for this to kick off with a couple things inside with you. We're gonna do a salt cave meditation and then a dance inside this wellness center. And then I'd love to just do a quick intro. So, Mare, I'm so grateful that you're here. I know you've got your two children that you care for and homeschool, and I'm just so grateful that you're able to join us again here. We met through a series of programs where we were connecting with the sensuality and the embodiment of our voice and finding the path to me actually creating this podcast and learning how much the affinity and love I have of videos and just creating the content, like actually being the one on the camera, but then also producing it. And I know you and I share that. And it was so lovely to interview you and get to know a little bit more about how you're shaping your world and your life and how it all kind of blends together with your art and creativity and yeah, keeping those channels flowing. So I'd love to hear from you, whatever you want to share about being asked to be on the podcast, how you felt during it or where you are today.
Well,
Anything that you want to share.
good morning first. So
Hello.
I'm located in BC, Canada still, and I remember really well last year because I remember I sat on the couch here and I was like, I just had an idea in my head that wouldn't it be cool if I was on a podcast, right? And then not too much longer, I get a voice message from Osha Rose, and she's like, "Hey, would you like to be on my podcast?" Which I thought was like, what? So awesome. Of course, I was like thrilled, because I do feel that through my story, which I have had very, very deep wounds of being seen and heard, because that used to come to like bad consequences. So rewriting it's taken, like, seriously, I was healing for 10 years. Okay. It took me forever, I feel like, to get to the point of like, okay, I'll start my YouTube channel. And taking part in Laura Rose's Voice of Creatrix was a very big thing for me. It helped me a lot. But going from there and, being on your podcast, I'm like, I know I'm supposed to use my voice in this life. I know I'm supposed to be on different kinds of stages, may it be my YouTube channel or your podcast. And so when I was invited, I was like, yep, see, the universe starts taking care of you when you start putting yourself out there. That's my little one. He's almost 1.
Wow. Almost your birthday.
Yes.
Yours too, Mama.
Yeah, and it's been interesting because, a lot has happened since. Like, at the beginning of this year, I was going through, we can call it crisis, because I realized I'm in postpartum depression, which I didn't have the first time. I have almost 7-year-old. And the first time my experience was absolutely amazing. I loved it. I was sleep deprived like every other mom, but I was seriously in love with motherhood. And this time it was completely different. Everything was so different that I was like, I can't say to myself that I have postpartum depression because I'm Mare. That doesn't happen to me. Like, I love motherhood. Like, I just couldn't go there. But once I realized what it was, because I was like, my body's giving me all the signals in the world. Like, I would be hanging out with my kids, and then it's like, starts like, get away from me feeling, it's like too much for me. And I was like, okay, I need to start looking into it because I can't just ignore it anymore. So I went through the crisis. It was about like a week long. I was just in this really dark cave mentally. And then I realized that as much as I love my kids, next year I have to send them to school and start daycares because I have to give my body some time to just come out of it, because I've been stay-at-home mom for 7 years. I've been with my bigger one pretty much all 7 years, and now this past year with my smaller one. So I realized that as much as I love them and as much as I don't want them to go through what I went through as a kid, that's like one of my main reasons that I was like, I'm going to homeschool and all that, that I also have to realize that I don't suffocate myself and them in the process of it. So that's that's something big I had to realize. Wow. Like, I had to look at it. And at first it was hard, but the more I understand it and the more I because I've already started looking into schools and daycares around here, I realized that it's not the end of the world. They'll be fine. They're very resilient, and they're close by. Like, if anything, I can just go and pick them up, right? But as I was also in that crisis, I remember I woke up one morning and I was like, I'm supposed to create a program, because last year after my son was born, I had so much creativity just coming out of me, and I wanted to, of course, I was like, I need to do this and I want to do that. Like,
oh my God, you were doing a challenge and you like paused it to go have your baby. And then you came back and were like, I'm going to play the guitar every day. You got me
and
to
I was
play.
like, and it's so interesting because I'm like, I always thought that I'm not a person who can finish things, but now I've realized that when it's very aligned with me and it comes more from like within me, I'm able to start and finish things. Right now I'm doing 90 days of posting challenge, that for 90 days I post every day no matter what. And I've had many days where I'm like, oh my God, today is just not happening, but then somehow it still happens. And I know it has a lot to do with, who I am, where I am, and why I'm doing it. But coming back to that program idea, so last year I was really like, I was trying to kind of like forcefully make it happen. Like, give me that idea. Like, I want that idea because, I want to have my own little business. Like, I know I'm not supposed to do 9 to 5. Like, I will be miserable. Like, I know it. I've done it several times and I want my own something. And when I was trying to make it happen last year, this idea or that idea, and it was just not happening. And then as I was going through my crisis at the beginning of the year, all of a sudden I wake up and I'm like, you're supposed to create a program with dolls. And dolls, I was like, why dolls? And then I realized that throughout the years in my journals, I have like created different dolls, mostly like drawing. Like, what is Mare? Who is Mare? Like, I was kind of like, this is Mare that I want to be, right? And then I've made Mares who are like broken and, you know, like this old version of me that just, everything is just so bad. And when I was thinking about how I want to create it, I was like, there was something bigger in it, because all of a sudden I didn't feel like I have the need to heal anymore. I was like, I want to teach now. Like somehow, even though I'm in postpartum depression, I get the idea, and the idea comes from where we would say, you know, it comes from God. It's not something, you know, like I sit there and I try and make it happen like I did last year. And then at the same time, it's like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, something on my own. And here I am in crisis, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm here to serve. It was so weird. Like, I've never experienced something like that before, where it's like, you think it's the end of the world, and at the same time, life is like, how about this? You know? And I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to focus on, because I have enough tools and I have enough understanding what postpartum depression is and all those things. And, you know, like, I'm not going to stay there, you know? And so that's what I did. I was like, okay, let me start creating it right away. And so I talked to my sisters and I was like, I'm going to run this. If you want to be a part of it, I want to just run it, the first idea that I have. And then I'll go from there. And now I'm slowly have been like, you know, I changed I'm identity architect, because I want to help women, just like I was healing forever. But you can heal only for so long. If you want like real change, you have to start doing things. So this is the year that I'm doing things.
Hello.
And I heard the word body earlier. You said, you know, it's the numerology year 1, and that's another thing, coming back to sending my kids to school and everything. My body needs to regenerate, like it just has to. And this is my number one thing right now, connecting back to my body and getting the rest that it needs, so that what I'm creating can be sustainable. Because I do have days where I'm like, I need to do this. I'm like, stop. You're gonna end up doing something to yourself again. You already know that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this year, and I'm looking forward to just creating this year, really. Connecting with my body, sending kids to have their own little time so that I can have my times, and then creating.
Yeah. I love this for you. I'm so grateful you're listening and following, but also staying in flow. And like Raquel was saying earlier, just honoring like the things that we are here to work through, or what we're here to share. You know, it's just the beautiful. I wholeheartedly believe that. And the way you described it, though, of like, what do you mean? I'm in crisis. You know, I'm getting this like idea that like now is what I'm going to move this forward, but this is it. This is everything. So I'm so grateful. Thank you for sharing and sharing your little baby. I'm just, my heart, like, I just remember when I started this podcast, that's my daughter wasn't even that old yet. And she's in the background of some of the first episodes. And I thought I was trying to edit them out. And now I'm so glad she's still in them. And at 5, she's like, is that me? Is that baby Mila?
That's so cute.
And it's so beautiful. So thank you, Mare. Thank you for sharing. And as she was talking, Tanya, I'm remembering so Tanya and I met through the Kindness Circle. It's this beautiful online gathering each month. And I knew right away I wanted to get to know you. And then we had this amazing chat that I was like, why wasn't this recorded? But I remember you saying, when you were just talking, Mara, I was thinking of this visual of balance. I haven't forgotten what you had said, Tanya, about how 6 kids. You have 6 kids, right? You're out west. She's like, balance, it doesn't ever look like this. It looks more like this. It's just like a constant, like, in motion. And so coming back to yourself over and over again, I'm sure is part of that message. But yes, I'd love to hear from you. I don't want to put any pressure on the book, but when we first started talking, you had this idea to write a book. You've been speaking on stages, sharing stories. The interview we had was so powerful.
Yeah, I'm happy to share that. Can I say something just real quick so I don't forget? Raquel, being your own banker was the best financial decision we ever made. My husband has been helping people with that for 15 or 20 years now. It has changed our world. It's fantastic. So congratulations that you've come in contact with that. So like Osha said, we met on that kindness circle, and there was, I don't remember how many people in the room, but we were put in a smaller group.
Oh, yeah.
And the minute the screen came on, I just thought, I need to meet her. There was just something about your energy and your smile. And I didn't know how deeply we would connect at that point, but I knew immediately that I wanted to meet you. And the first talk that we had, and then we actually recorded, it was just amazing. It was one of those times where you don't really know what's going to happen. And then you get into it and you don't care what happens because the connection is so wonderful, and it was a great experience. So I was really grateful that you invited me to be on your podcast. You're doing great things. So I am still working on my book. It's changed a little bit for the fact that I had this kind of crazy experience. And I'll just tell you, since you asked a little bit about it, we have a daughter. This is my family right here. I don't know if you can see that on the camera.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of you.
There's a couple of them that are married, and we have 2 little grandbabies now, and 1 on the way due any day. So it's a little crazy. But my one daughter decided she wanted to go serve a mission, and she was asked to go to Mexico. And so we dropped her off early in the morning, like 6:30 in the morning. We didn't drop her off. We went into the airport and, cried for a minute, and she's gone for 18 months. And that's the last thing I remember, was hugging her and watching her walk through security. I brought my laptop with us because my camera wasn't working, still not working today. So I obviously need to take it back. But we were going to stop by. We have a friend that owns a computer store. And he had said to us, you guys are coming early in the morning and the store probably won't be open, but walk around the back and one of my guys will let you in because the tech guys are there working early in the morning. So we pulled into this little parking lot. The door's not open. So I get out and walk around to the back. That door's not open either yet. And so we were just going to wait. So I came back and sat in the car. And within about 60 seconds, I passed out, I guess. And my daughter-in-law, my 2 daughters and my daughter-in-law were in the car with me. She wasn't going to be there, but late the night before, my son called. He was going to pick her up. She was coming into the airport from Hawaii. He was going to pick her up, but he had emergency at work. He said, can you guys bring her home? She's coming in about 30 minutes before Siri leaves. So she was in the car. She just happens to be an EMT. And Jason was talking to the girls and, doing something, and he thought I'd fallen asleep. And she's the one that said, Jason, I don't think she's asleep. I think there's something wrong. So they got me out of the car, and I wasn't breathing. My heart had stopped. No signs, no indications, no pain, nothing. And so he gave me CPR. He saved my life. Super grateful that he spent years in the scouting program with my boys. The first responders came. They had to shock me 5 times to bring me back. And I'm just really, really grateful. The things that came together to make it so I'm still here. I made a list while I was still in the hospital, all the little things that happened, just like had it happened a minute earlier when I was around the back of the store, no one would have known in time. They would have just thought I got in the store. There was an accident on the highway just after we got off, just before the exit that we got off on. Had we been 5 minutes behind time, we would have been behind that accident and stuck in traffic, and just the extra few minutes to figure out how to get over to the side or whatever. Had we been 5 minutes ahead of where we were up the road, we go through a canyon, and the service there is very unpredictable. And the response time there is at least 20 minutes for first responders. But as it happened, the first responders at this fire station that was close by had just had a shift change, and the ones that had just come on went to that accident. The other ones, all of them, hung around for a few minutes. Nobody knows why. At first, when we got the time that my daughter's plane didn't take off until 10 o'clock. And when the mission office had given us the information, they said, be there at 6:45. And I just thought, oh my goodness, like I get preparation people, but like more than 3 hours, it's Salt Lake. It's not Atlanta. We don't need that much time. But I also didn't want her to start the mission feeling like, she wasn't going by the rules, and didn't want her to cause stress for other people. And so we were there at 6:40. And had we been because I told Jason, I said, she could be there at like 7:45 and it would be fine. Like, why are we? Because it's an hour and a half drive for us. But we were there at 6:40. And thankfully, because had we been 7:30, we would have been in 8 o'clock traffic coming out. And just the extra time to find a place to pull over, to get me out of the car. And then just little things like both my girls got in the car. And then at the last second, they're like, Dad, wait, and ran back in and got blankets. And so when they got me out of the car, I don't remember it, but I'm sure at the time I was really glad I wasn't just laying on the concrete. They spread their blankets out for me, just little things like that. Mm-hmm. When I made a list, there were 17 things, little things like that came together that the reason that I'm here today. So it was an experience that caused me to really, really think about and I'm pretty good at prioritizing. Like there's certain things that are very important to me, my family and my faith, things like that. And I'm pretty good at prioritizing those. But there's a few things in my life where after this experience, I've decided I'm living too small. And there's things that I was put here to do. And I've known that, but it's just kind of brought it to the forefront. Like, why am I putting these things off? There's things that I speak about, things in my book that I think will really help some people and are part of the purpose that I'm still around. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited to still be here. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be in this room with you guys, because I think there's a reason. That's what I've always known, that, the difference between coincidence and miracles is just who you give the credit to. And I am a firm believer after everything, my son was not happy about this emergency at his work. It was a pain in the neck. But had she not been in the car, his wife not been in the car, I do not believe that things happen by chance. I don't believe in coincidences. So anyway, that's a long story. Sorry.
No, I don't believe in coincidences either. And the power in this story, like whenever I get the chills, like my skin on my arms stand up, I think of that as like this, like we're all energy, but it's when my energy, my thoughts, my heart, like what you're saying, everything's in alignment. If we're in a simulation in a game, it's like you get the coins. It's like that moment was like, ding, 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 ding. Like, I just feel like I'm experiencing God in this moment. There's something that's happening inside of me that there's no words for. And that happened 7 times when you were just sharing that story, to the point where and then when you said, I've been living too small, I wanted to burst into tears. There's just, I'm so grateful you're still here. I'm so grateful that you found that message. And it sounds like you, in that process, are also still letting yourself feel into what that means, like what living small has meant. We talked a little bit about that in your episode of things from childhood, and ways that we limit ourselves sometimes just based on old beliefs and old perspectives and ways of seeing ourselves. I believe we all, our energy, our souls, whatever, we're like, all right, you want to do this? And we like planned out the whole life and how it's all going to go. And our children, our husbands, our ex-husbands, our parents, our people on the street that give us a weird look. And then we write a story about it. Like all of us said, let's do this. And then here we are. And we know when we're in alignment with what we came here to do. And we know when we aren't. And what do we do about that, information? And do we ignore it? And do we just say things are happening by coincidence and my life is hard and everything's bad and miserable? It's easy to know what to do now with what you just said. How do I feel right now? And how is this helping me
Totally agree. I totally agree with
'Cause
that. I think we had a grand council before we came here, and I think God had a plan, and I think we were part of that. I think we agreed to it for sure.
It was deeply moved by that story. And you are here for something grand and greater. And, I deeply resonate with so much of my life living small for so many reasons, not feeling safe to be myself, feeling like just all these like narratives that were part of creating my identity. And, just these wake up calls, they could either make us further like contract or in your experience, like really expand further into the truth of who you want to blossom into or who you truly are, right? And the opportunity in that. So I'm deeply moved by that. So
Thank you. One of the things, like part of what I speak about is helping people build or rebuild this identity confidence and, understanding at a deep level who they are and what they're meant for here on this planet. That's not a one and done. I found great fulfillment and joy. I find great fulfillment and joy in motherhood and in having this strong family. And yet, I've got one daughter left at home. She's got a year and a half with us, and so what is that going to mean going forward? How's that going to look different? And what is my life going to look like? And so that identity confidence kind of morphs if you let it, and that's one of the things this experience has really kind of brought to light for me is, it's okay that you see more now than you did before, or you're doing something different than you did before. And it goes back to what Osha was talking about, balance. Like, I just don't even believe in that concept, especially as a mother. Like, are you kidding? The minute you have something balanced, a kid decides he's going to, come down into the house through the chimney. And so your life is completely, it's almost like you, it's not that you don't have control, but it's to try to find that what people talk about as balance. Oh, you've got to have a work-life balance. And I just think there's times in your life where it's all about family, and there's times in the life where it needs to be all about you, and there's times in your life where it needs to be, something else. And as long as we understand that and don't feel guilty that, oh my goodness, I need to focus on me for a minute, my child needs to go to preschool or whatever, we can find an order. I much prefer the word order over balance, because if you try to balance, at least for me, maybe somebody else knows how to do it better than me, but with 6 little kids at home, I'm like, you are just lucky if I don't kill you by the end of the day. And if that doesn't happen and you've been fed, the balance doesn't matter, we all live to see and live another day. So
Beautiful. I have like tears of just like joy and connection dripping down my eyes. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming here and just being part of this. To me, Superbloom, like when I first came up with the name Superbloom, there's this song by the Mr. Wives, Superbloom, and it came out during the pandemic, and it like kept me going. It was like, just when you said I won't make it, that's when I Superbloom. And it's just this beautiful like reminder of resilience. And that's where the name came from. But then I realized, okay, what is a super bloom? It's these seeds that travel in the wind. They get planted in a barren desert, and then with just the right amount of water, they bloom. And this dry, desolate place becomes a beautiful rainbow of wildflowers. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that is what this is. It's about finding, believing, seeing, and trusting in what is beneath the surface in all of us. And so everything you're sharing here, everything you've shared in your episodes, it's all in that vein, that channel of what's within me already that I'm ready to explore, I'm ready to share, and trusting that there's even more there. Like I was going through my own super bloom during that first season, or, it took me like a year and a half, but all those episodes were me finding my voice, seeing that I had something to share, seeing that my way of sharing it, because we're all talking about the same thing, but we each have our own frequency. We each have our own way, our own words. And so as we continue to step into this blooming, revealing what's within, being willing to see it, being willing to share it, we're saying the same thing, but in our own way. And that's how we connect with the people that we're here to support, or the people that we're here to learn from specifically. And I don't think it's a coincidence that we're all here today, because I am getting so much out of these conversations. I'm just taken away by each of your unique souls, sharing the empowerment of being a mother, a woman, a human of service, and just somebody that's, we all have a very important role and impact on our whole world. Like everything we're doing here, when we meditate, when we take deep breaths, when we exercise, when we keep our energy and our frequency channel clear, that ripple affects everyone around us, even beyond our planet. So it's just honoring that, showing up for things like this, showing up for yourself in whatever way we need to, especially as a mama, because we've got the babies in our hands, and then we have the babies of the other people we'll affect. To me, like that was my message this morning, was like, Osha, all you need to do to prepare for this call is clear your energy. I felt a little funky. I was like trying to think what I was going to say, and none of it felt right. And I was like, okay, meditate, exercise, put on a song. I put on that Superbloom song. I was just like, right. Oh, right. It's already within me. Just show up, put on your hat that you just got that you love, that reminds you of, you couldn't walk around in California without a hat. When I lived in San Diego, it's so hot. And I just got this, our surf shop had like a sale on like summer stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm ready for summer. And I bought a bunch of stuff. And when I recorded all the promo stuff last year, I had a hat on. So I was like, I'm going to wear a hat. I'm going to just like show up with my frequency, my essence, and let that be me. And I'm so grateful that each of you came and did the same. Just take another moment to seal this in. So whether your eyes are open or closed, just take a moment to let whatever words are kind of still echoing in your head, whatever feelings are still moving through in your heart, and just take a few moments to breathe into that. In through the nose, into the heart, out through the nose or the mouth, into the ethers. Knowing that each breath is our life force energy. Clearing our channel, connecting with our frequency is as simple as a breath in and a breath out. What we need is already within us. May you find even more courage today to see that and trust that. My heart is full of love and joy and gratitude to all of you here in this space and to all of you witnessing this beyond. May you feel blessed and encouraged to continue to super bloom. Rise up in the barren desert with what you got right here, right now. So much love to all of you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Any other comments are welcome.
Thank you so much, Osha. It was so good to see everyone and to meet you and Raquel and Mare and everyone's just a pleasure, a joy. What a great way to start my day out here.
Yay, and Sam. Yes, thank you, Tanya, Mare, Raquel, Sam, and we got Salem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you, Osha. And it was lovely hearing everyone's just a little bit about them. And I look forward to listening to the podcast.
Yeah, I'm excited for your episode. Gypsy soul work. Yeah. All right, everyone, be well, take good care, and thank you again for being here. I'm so grateful.
Thank you, Osha.
Yeah.
I'll make it great.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Superbloom podcast. For more information on how to open up your mind and expand your heart and ways to work with Osha Rose, visit osharose.com. There is music videos, community connection, fun ways to learn about the body, the mind, and how they connect. Visit osharose.com.